I promised myself I would make more videos, and I've been so insecure about doing it and knowing what to talk about. And I always start with calling in the light in my work, so I'm just gonna do that and see what comes forward. Father, Mother, God, I ask for the light of spirit to come in. Ask for anything that can be cleared and lifted to be lifted into God. Any negativity, fears, doubts, sadness, pain, anything that feels like too much, it's too hard, you don't know what's going to happen. Just let all that go and invite in your guides, high masters, angels, God, whatever you bring in for the highest good. Just ask for the light to surround and fill that. So I don't have any makeup on. This is how I look, super raw. I've never worn that much makeup. And I just feel like lately it's really been about what would the successful me look like? What would that future me look like? And I've been playing a lot more with makeup and just seeing what works on me, and it has been bringing me so much joy. I think a lot of spiritual people think that, like, if, you know, spirit is all about having the perfect, just spiritual practices are more about meditation or sitting for days, like focusing on God. And sometimes it is about that. Like, I spend hours and hours sometimes just focusing inward until I get an answer. I call it my prayer time. So if I'm not looking at the camera, it's my phone and whatever. But when I'm in that space, I'm going really, really deeply with it. Also, this is from a person that is not, I'm not a professional makeup artist. This is just what I've always liked makeup. And I stopped putting on makeup for a really, really long time when I was getting into my spiritual practice and getting more involved in, like, the worlds of healing and all of that. For some reason, like, the first time that when I really started getting into it, I was really big on letting go of my first identity and my identity of my past, my painful past. And I went like hardcore. I like got rid of all of any books that reminded me of my past. I got rid of photo albums. I got rid of, like, not from when I was a child, but just, I felt like my friends too, like, I had this like weird thing where it was like all of a sudden, after meeting my spiritual teacher and becoming spiritual and being in this spiritual world, I thought that, like, getting rid of, like, or not hanging out with anybody that held a past identity of me, because I felt like I had been through so much and I just didn't ever want to fall into that personality that had started to heal all of that, that wanted to move past that. So I didn't want to hang out with my friends and my old friends. And, you know, later on that shifted, and I wanted to be with certain friends still, and I was lucky that some of them stayed in my life, but I was very much like, I wanted to surround myself with anybody that was of a high spiritual. I usually don't do mascara, but I'm focusing on talking and doing this is like, I don't know how people do it. They must be reading scripts, or I don't fucking know. But I started surrounding myself with very, like, what I considered very high spiritual beings. People that were authors, people that ran companies that were based around spirituality, spiritual teachers. I started reading any book I could get my hands on that the kinds of books you read between the lines that you really went deeper. I started surrounding myself with people like that because I felt like I just couldn't be identified with who I was because I'd been through so much pain. And I think I'm just gonna do light glitter today. I love the Fenty Diamond Bomb. It's like my fucking favorite. But I started surrounding myself with people like that. And I also started getting really, really still. So one of the things that I did in my practice was getting really, really still. I would sit there and I'd meditate for like hours. And if like even a fly landed on me or I had like an itch, I would just like train my body to be really, really, really still. This was nothing anybody told me. It was kind of like an innate thing that just started happening because I don't know, I think part of me knew I had these deep gifts and I was accessing them, but it was very like a surrendering into that. Nobody trained me to do it specifically that way, but I just naturally did it. So that came forward and I did that, and it was kind of like yeah, I started to let go of my identity and just delve into how I could become what I was meant to become. And it was really fucking hard because life really didn't work out for me. And for a really, really long time, it was really, really hard. And I had to learn how to navigate that as well. But I rode with it and I used everything to call me into greater spiritual knowing. And I'm just thinking, like, if I was to talk to my future self about all this, like, I feel like I should like show some skin, all this stuff that I went through. I really like this lip liner, Tower 28. It's not one of the viral ones right now. I've been heavily influenced by makeup lately. But I think I would just tell myself, like, it's okay. It's really, really okay. Just that I'm not doing anything wrong. I haven't done anything wrong. And I'm just learning to heal that part of me that feels so little inside, that little girl that is afraid, and things have taken a long time, and I've had some major successes and I've had some major challenges where stuff just didn't work out and I didn't know why. And it was, I think I would tell myself, like, it's all leading me up to this glorious success. You know, I was watching this, like, and like redefining myself is a part of that. It's always been a part of that. And I feel like I've redefined myself and lived so many lives. I just got this lip gloss and I want to get it, but I don't want to leave the camera right now. But it's from Milk and it's so pretty. I've lived so many lives and it's just been such a ride, and I just want that future me just looks so glorious and bright and is just honoring her body, loves her body and loves herself. And, you know, I was thinking about like what it would be like to do art and portraits and like talks in like France and other places in the world and be flown there. Like, I just have a feeling like they would love it. And I was like, what would it be like to like have my work in like the fashion world? And I was with a friend the other day, and I handed my card and told somebody what I did to this fashion person, and I um and it was, my friend was like, the fashion world wouldn't be interested in what you do. And I was just like, like, why are you like basically just bursting my bubble. And, I really see that they would be interested in what I do. And if I'm meant to do something else, that's okay too. Like, I just want to form into that highly successful, wealthy, rich being and love myself in greater and greater ways. Yeah, so I'm going to start talking about this stuff on here and just see what develops as I transform into that self of the future, and how that self of the future would talk to that part of me in the past, which just was trying so hard to let go of any old identity so she could free herself. And the message is very much like having compassion for that part of me and loving that part of me. And I've also been doing this like thing where I write to my, like, a letter to that part of me that's really afraid of success. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, bye.